the third Sunday of the ordinary season year B, invites us all to distinguish between call to conversion and conversion call. Call to conversion is someone assigned to talk about, preach about conversion, addressing a congregation. Conversion call is meant to the speaker himself. One has to make the changes required in order to execute the mission commissioned. We find lot of similarities between Prophet Jonah and the gospel today, where at the bank of Galilee, Jesus invites the fishermen. Jonah, the Hebrew meaning, reveals as dove. A message of peace was to be carried out by Jonah to the people of Nineveh. Jonah, a Jew, and people of Nineveh and the king, Syrians. Jonah was reluctant to carry this mission out. At times we are confined to our own clan, our own group, our own ethnicity, various other realms with which we are comfortable with, while God's mission is with no boundary, reaching everybody, no matter who they are, for they deserve the mercy and forgiveness of God. Jonah was called from a place called Geth-Keper, also known as Galilee at the time of Jesus, to address the people of Nineveh, who were 1,000 kilometers approximately. In his disagreement and disobedience, he goes towards the west, the opposite, over 3,000 kilometers. We, after having received the call, for various reasons, we turn opposite to the will of God and the purpose of God, and we work contrary to the very mission despite being called. And Jonah again was pushed into the waters and to dwell in the womb of a whale, to face the challenges in order to achieve mission that was entrusted. He was angry because God was loving and forgiving. We who are called for various reasons turn out our own emotions involved into the mission and do not give the best and all that we are to owe to the mission of God. We do share such similarities in the behavior of Jonah, who displays today. In the gospel we have Jesus again at the shore of Galilee, where once Jonah was called, is here today, calls the fishermen, the first of his apostles, to be his followers and to be the carriers of his mission. Galilee was not only the place of Jews but also of various ethnicities, especially the Greeks. Again, his mission was portrayed not for Jews alone, but to every nook and corner of the world. We do see and notice in both the occasions sea and water. Jonah wanted to take refuge in the water or sea, and he was in the womb of whale, while the fishermen too were associated with sea and fish, and it is their refuge to have the fish collected every day. In both occasions, God calls them and leads them to the land of people to reach and to go with the mission of conversion. The disciples we see no way less with the disorientation and disobedience and with low esteem and not ready to carry out the mission, just as Prophet Jonah. It was 3 days for the prophet to be in the whale's womb, while 3 years for the disciples to be shaped in order to carry the mission out. God was kind and patient to the people of Nineveh, and Jesus patiently bears transformation of these disciples to be apostles in the upper room where they were spirit-filled. Jonah and Jesus had a call to conversion to the people of Nineveh and to the people of Jesus' time. And here we are today to have this conversion call all those who are called, priests and religious, like how Jonah and disciples needed change in their perspective towards the mission and their own selves. We do find defects in various facets like nepotism, disobedience to God and to the expected authorities, and mistrust in God's mission and in one another, psychological and emotional imbalances that curb God's mission, and our own anger, jealousy and being powermonger derails the very purpose of God's call. May this day help us all to understand how weak one is, and yet God is patient to all those who change themselves, both the preacher, the called and the listener. God bless us all.